Welcome back to Perspectives. Along with other world leaders today, Egyptian President Fatah al-Sisi took the stage at the UN General Assembly, using the stage to call for peace in the Middle East. Earlier, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres had called for a two-state solution to the conflict between Israel and the Palestinians, a call for coexistence that was echoed again by al-Sisi. Take a listen to his comments.
I tell the Palestinian people it's extremely important to unite behind the goal and to overcome differences and seize opportunities and to be ready to accept coexistence with the others, the Israelis, in safety and security, and to achieve stability and security for all. And I say, and I direct my call to the Israeli people, we have an excellent experience in Egypt in peace with you for longer than 40 years. We can repeat this experience and this excellent step once again, the peace and security of the Israeli citizen together with the peace and security of the Palestinian citizen.
This statement by the Egyptian president comes after he held separate meetings with both Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. The talks centered on efforts to revive peace talks between Israel and the Palestinians. On Monday, Netanyahu also met with U.S. President Donald Trump, during which the two also discussed resuming the talks between Israel and the Palestinians.
Egyptian President Fattah al-Sisi met with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu on the sideline of the United Nations General Assembly on Monday. It's the first ever public meeting between the two leaders. The two discussed ways to revive the stalled Middle East peace process, with Sisi emphasizing the importance of reaching a comprehensive solution. Sisi also met Palestinian Authority President Mahmoud Abbas on Monday. The two talked about Egypt's efforts to mediate talks between Hamas and Fatah. The two Palestinian rivals have been at odds for 10 years now, since the Hamas movement forcefully seized control of the Gaza Strip from President Abbas's Fatah ruling party. Cairo is trying to position itself as a major power peace broker in the region. Egypt is one of two Arab states that has peace agreement with Israel, and it's considered a trusted ally. On Monday also, Netanyahu met with U.S. President Donald Trump, who said he still believes he can reach the ultimate deal.
Peace between the Palestinians and Israel would be a fantastic achievement, and we are giving it an absolute go. I think there's a good chance that it could happen.
And in a major surprise, in his speech to the UN on Tuesday, Trump did not mention the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Trump is scheduled to meet Abbas on Wednesday. Mohammed Al-Qasim, I-24 News.
In other Middle East news, today a Patriot missile from northern Israel intercepted a drone that had crossed the demilitarized zone on Israel and Syria's shared border. There are no reports of damage or casualties. The Israeli military says the drone was made by Iran and operated by the Lebanese terror group Hezbollah. The IDF claims the drone was on a reconnaissance mission in the area, taking off from Damascus airport. It is believed to have fallen in Syrian territory. To discuss this all further, I'm now joined by Matthew RJ Brodsky, a senior fellow at the Security Studies Group. Matthew, thanks so much for being with us.
Good to be with you.
So a couple things to talk about. Let's start, though, with these comments that we heard from the Egyptian president wanting peace between Israel and the Palestinians. Do we see Egypt really emerging as a leader in this push for a regional peace initiative?
Well, Egyptian-Israeli cooperation right now is at an all-time high, and he has certainly been a better friend to Israel. He's been dealing with ISIS and various Salafi offshoots in the Sinai, and of course, who can blame him for wanting to put himself in the center of the peacemaking effort? I don't think anything is going to end up coming of it. I think more questionable is actually his role in trying to affect the reconciliation between Fatah and Hamas. This is a perennial type of a thing that they go about doing, the Palestinians, and it never ends up working out. The reason that Hamas is doing it now is basically to undercut the Palestinian Authority while they're at the UN this week. So, it's really not going to lead to anything. And we should also remember it was the reconciliation attempt in 2014 that pretty much crushed that peace attempt back then.
Certainly. Well, a development we will be keeping an eye on as it continues, as you said, to either fall apart or actually develop. Now, in other regional news, as we mentioned, a drone shot down today by a Patriot missile from Israel. Israel says this is from Hezbollah, courtesy of Iran. Do you think that this represents a growing escalation on the northern border? We've seen skirmishes before, but is this use of a drone so blatantly some sort of escalation?
Right. I don't think it's that much of an escalation. The bottom line is below a certain bar, there's a tit for tat back and forth between Israel and Hezbollah, and that's basically existed since the 90s. Today, really, when it comes to the strategic decision to go to war for Hezbollah, that decision is in Tehran, and that's for Iran to make, because Hezbollah is essentially just an arm of Iran. They can't make that decision on their own. And the other party, of course, is Israel, when they decide that they've had enough. I think going forward, the most important thing is to look at the future of Syria, because so far Israel has had a free hand to act there and to take up weapon shipments. That's been a result of the Syrian civil war. Should Assad be able to actually retake control of all of Syria, then it begins to look a lot more like Israel attacking more of a sovereign nation. Is Assad then able to act on his own and to go back again and to retaliate against Israel, claiming that it's not really Iran or that it's Hezbollah, when in reality, it's all one and the same?
Certainly. Well, as you said, one we'll keep an eye on. Matthew, thanks so much for joining us today. Coming up, Iraq's Kurdish population vows to push forward with the referendum for independence, despite fierce pressure to cancel from the Iraqi government. We've got all that after the break.